Welcome back to my channel. This is Nadine from Homelight Healing. Today I am talking very specifically to those of you brave souls who are being called to take your light to other areas of the world. I wanted to reflect a little bit with you and share some experience and first of all, thank you for listening to that call, to that nudge, and following your intuition. So many of us are being called to different areas of the world. We have completed what we needed to do and within ourselves, and we're taking that light to other places to ground the codes and work with the grid and bring light into different spaces. So it does take a bit of courage to do that. So just sharing a thank you from my heart to yours for all of those of us who are taking that leap. It is a brand new beginning. It is a brand new slate. It's a clean new slate. It's very, very unknown, and it's very different, the navigating tools from what we have been using for most of our lives. So I wanted to reflect a little bit on like the expectations of what that could look like. And, maybe you're thinking, oh, I've done my work, I'm at, in a certain space within myself, a certain frequency, and I'm going to be going to new places where people are already matching me with that frequency, and we're going to create our communities. And I want to share that that is probably not what's going to be happening. So if you have that expectation, to maybe just look at that and try to be open to it maybe looking a little bit different than what you may think. So if you are one of the ones who are being called first to start that brand new clean slate somewhere else, you are probably being called to areas that need your light and are not at the same frequency as where you're at, but are at the space or the potential to be shifting, both on the land aspect and the community aspect there. And that there's a possibility for creating new earth communities, but you are going to be the leader in that. So it's not already, it hasn't already created strong root holds. So you will be helping to create that. So know that you are going into a space that is not necessarily going to meet you where you're at. So don't be too disappointed, is what I want to say. There may be a feeling of disappointment, or, oh, this isn't what I thought, or there may be a little bit of this like in-between space where the energies are adjusting, the land's adjusting to you being there, and your light being there, as well as the people. So there's this like a little bit of a balancing and an adjusting, and it can be a little bit challenging. So let's be honest, it can be challenging for you because you're already in a certain place and you're being taken to places that still have a lot of programming that they're working with, that you've already sort of completed within yourself. So you're bringing that new level of frequency to a place that is not quite there. So there is a bit of that adjustment period, and for you it might feel quite lonely because maybe you're expecting that there'll be more like-minded, like-hearted souls, and there are going to be some that you connect with and you create community with, but the land and the community as a whole that's why you're being called there, to ground your frequency, to ground your light codes, to help shift. So you may be confronted with very old programming that you've already sort of worked within yourself and integrated and moved beyond. So it might feel a little bit lonely at first. You may be going to places where you're, you may not feel like you can shine your fullest, brightest light after working so hard at all the different levels to be the full light in the world that you are, and then being introduced to places that, wow, that feels like it's a lot for these places. So there's a feeling of like, oh, I'm going to have to hide myself again. And you don't really need to hide yourself again, but there is an adjustment and a learning period for both sides of the parties here, and a leveling up for, again, both sides. And it takes a bit of humbling to realize also you'll be learning again from the people in the land where you're feeling called, and you'll be activating. So go with like an open, unexpected heart to just really be humble and be there and be present and learn. And you might step back a little bit and learn from those around you. But know that your presence does hold a great value to where you're being called. It's a great service, and it is brand new. So it's not something that you might have done before. Actually, it won't be anything that you've done before. So you will be navigating brand new ways of living, brand new ways of creating and manifesting, and it may be in a bit quite a stark contrast of what's around you. So, but you have been like prepping yourself for this. So you have everything it takes to do this, even in moments of like feeling very unsure and maybe questioning your choices. Just maybe, hopefully, this might hit you at that point, and you'll know that there's many others like you out there doing this, and that it does take a bit of courage and not to give up hope, and to stay open to the magic that's around you and to the support that's around you from so many different levels. They may look different than, again, what you might have thought or expected, but none the same. It is support. And to catch yourself when you're going, when your mind might be going back to old ways of navigating or thinking about the world or manifesting in the world that really no longer works. So we have to keep catching ourselves and resetting, and quieting and being in stillness, to also not rush the process. So the timing may be very different than what you're hoping or expecting or where you're at in your process. So it's a bit of a humbling, but just don't give up faith and know that you are there for a reason. You are supported. You can do this. Of course, you can change your mind too if it's just not what you wanted, or maybe it doesn't have the potential that you thought it could. We have that right free will to change our mind. But I wanted to share this to encourage you, to know to reach out to people you know who are also on the journey. If anyone is watching this and needs support, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to connect with you. Yeah, and don't forget to just breathe through the process and really go deeper underneath the layers. It's really going to ask you to use all of your honing tools, your compass, your deep compass, and all your magical toolbox to navigate. But you are prepped well for this, and you can do this. And remember to have fun in the process, because it's an experiment and it's new, and you'll find out what's not working, you'll find out what is working, and there will be people to support you in the journey. So be open to noticing to noticing that, to noticing the gifts that are being presented in a myriad of different ways. So I hope someone listening out there, this helps you, and much love, much love, much love. Thank you. Bye.